For 46 cycles, we have maintained the commemoration of our fallen new African freedom fighters and have been the caretakers of the over 400 years of Black August resistance, which is the root of our revolutionary culture. Our journey over 46 cycles of BAM has been fraught with peril, the incessant attacks of a repressive order, and the social isolation of the Indeterminate Solitary Confinement Unit, the SHU. For decades, those who are the torchbearers of George Jackson, the blood of Joka Qatari, were confined in the most repressive conditions existent in the U.S., cut off from any meaningful contact with those we sacrificed to defend and empower. In our absence, misconceptions of BAM and BAR's tenets, misrepresentations of BAM's origins, and attempts to distort its true purpose emerged, hand in hand with the contrapositive propaganda campaign of the oppressor to distort who and what we were and are in the minds of the masses. In the absence of our genuine example, elements wholly unaware of our true ideology and purpose misappropriated our political titles, unconsciously assisting the tools of oppression in advancing their distortion and demoralization campaign. The truth of who and what Black August and its originators were and are was degraded, damaged, but far from destroyed. The laws of dialectical change, progressing from the unity and struggle of opposites on to the negation of negation or the evolution in contradictions, saw our formation, along with antagonistic elements within the California prison system, awaken from what can be likened to a 50-year slumber of internecine strife and the most lethal warfare, to the realization that we had been pit against one another for decades by prison guards and administrators as the social and political basis for the expansion of the PISC, Prison Industrial Slave Complex. You see, it was our conflicts rooted primarily in the enforcement of the U.S. race caste arrangement and our collective defiance thereof, which served as the catalyst for the prison boom. These conflicts served as the fuel for the fear mongering which compelled the political capitulation of legislators to the whims of prison industrialists. Seeing our common cause clearer and clearer the more we communicated with one another, ultimately we came together and organized the largest hunger strike in U.S. history, inspiring the world in the effort. Armed with the historic agreement to end hostilities, we successfully dismantled indefinite solitary confinement torture units within the KDOK. We were subsequently released back to the general population after 10, 20, 30, 40, and in some cases 50 years of continuous confinement in sensory deprivation torture units at Pelican Bay and Corcoran State prisons. And with this release from SHU also came the opportunity for and realization of parole and release back to Babylon for some of us. We began to reassert ties to our communities and see firsthand the depth and breadth of misconceptions about who and what we are, and the misinterpretations of what Black August is. We had not been idle in our isolation. We had not only upheld the tenets of Black August, but advanced them just as we had advanced the ideology and science of new African revolutionary nationalism. We began correcting these misinterpretations of BAM and BAR while flat out rejecting others, reestablishing the leading role of Black August's originators, the Black August Organizing Committee, BAOC, in the guidance, history, and interpretation of Black August and its tenets. This was a key turning point in reclaiming our truth, as this meant reconstituting and evolving the little known other side of Black August resistance, the new African sovereignty program. The truth that many have failed to grasp is, from the outset of our culture of resistance, hearkening back to maroon settlements in the Caribbean, to the visions of a free and independent new African nation had by Martin Delany, Gabriel and Nanny Proser, Nat Turner, on to Robert F. Williams, Howard Toll, Death Row Jeff, W.L. Nolan, George Lester Jackson, Joka Qatari, and on to us. We have fought to build new institutions and a new way of life for our people just as hard as we fought against oppression, contiguous with our resistance to the assimilation to white supremacy, capitalism, and the settler culture, has always been our clear articulation and pursuit of our own independent nation, culture, and society based on and rooted in principles of collective life. Black August Memorial and Black August Resistance is not simply about commemorating the sacrifices of our fallen freedom fighters and emulating their commitment to train, study, prepare, and fight against oppression, but also commemorating and committing to the many sovereignty programs and serve the people initiatives we've built to serve as an alternative to the fascist order and foundation for new African nationhood. You see, Black August is not simply about what we are committed to fighting against, but who and what we are committed to building for. This truth has always been a central tenet of Black August resistance, a truth that has been underrepresented and insufficiently emphasized up to this point. The Serve the People and Sovereignty initiatives that are finding resonance across our communities today, such as the Autonomous Infrastructure Mission, Cell Block to City Block, the George Jackson Grassroots Collective, Project Identity, the New African Workers Union Citizens Initiative, formerly incarcerated Giving Back, the Sustainable Agricultural Commune, the Asada Alert Network, the George Jackson Gun Club, the Youth Community Action Program, the New African Math and Science Centers Initiative, Liberate Our Elders Support Services, the Emergency Response Network, the House of Education for Liberation, Jonathan Jackson Academy, United Block Project, Community Safe Zones Initiative, the George Jackson University, and so many more were conceived of or inspired by members of the BAOC while they were still behind the walls. All of it the work product of Black August resistance and the various units and organizations of the BAOC. When you see these efforts in your own communities, when you encounter those activists advocating and organizing around these efforts, know that what you are encountering is the true Black August resistance and the lineage of those who created Black August Memorial. No longer can the tools of reaction seek to characterize us as something other than who and what we are because you, the people, can see and feel the truth of who and what we are in your own communities every day. In this 46th cycle of the commemoration, we invite you all to join us in reclaiming our truth, join, volunteer, or support in one of the many efforts being fielded under the New African Workers Union, Citizens Initiative, Advocate for the Sovereignty Program. Encourage our youth to engage Project Identity, participate in the Youth Community Action Program, or enroll in the Jonathan Jackson Academy Build with us through each temporal phase of Black August 365. Join us in reclaiming our truth, which is and has always been that we serve the people. Either we win or we don't lose. Can't stop, won't stop.